Hello grade 11 students. Today I am here to teach you chapter 9 in your textbook, that's percentages. So we started percentages in grade 10. So what are percentages? Percentages are fractions with denominator 100. So any fraction, the denominator is 100 and you get any number here. So how can we write down percentages? We can write down 8 over 100 as 8 divided by 100. I can take 1 here and zeros both sides and I can write this one as 8%. So 23 over 100 is 23%, or 52 over 100 we can write as 52%. So what is percent means? Divide by 100. A fraction with denominator 100 is called a percentage value. Now we'll take examples related to percentages. You can get only these three types. One is if you are given a percentage and ask you to find out any amount. So 6% of 500. How can we do that? 6% means 6 over 100 into 500. What you get? 100 times 5. 5 times 6, 30. So what's the part of 6% out of 500? That's 30 rupees. Then you can get the same question in a different way. Find the percentage of 30 rupees out of 500. So you are asked to calculate the percentage and the part and the full amount is given. So how you do that one? So 30 rupees out of 500. As a percentage, you multiply by 100 and divide by 100. So what you get? 100 times 5, 30 divided by 5, you get 6%. Same question in a different way. The third one, percentage and the part of the amount is given. You are asked to find out the total amount. So it's given 6% represent 30 rupees and you are asked to find out the total amount. Total amount is 100%. So 30 divided by 6 into 100. So 6 times 5, 5 times 100, you get 500. So those are the only types of questions you can get. So what are the types? When you draw the triangle like this, so percentage is given and the total amount and the part of the value. So in the first question, 6% and 500 given. These two given and you are asked to find out this value. So here, which one is that? 6% and 500 and you are asked to find out this part. So that's this one. And the second one, 30, the part and the full amount given. So that's this one. And the third one is part and the percentage is given. That's third one. So if you can do any type of question in percentages, that means it's easy for you. So you can get same question in 3 different ways. Now we'll look at the review exercise. compute the following percentages. 12% of 800. So this means 12 over 100 into 800. So 100 times 8, 8 times 12, 8 times 2, 16, 1 remaining, 8 times 1, 8 plus 1, 96 rupees. Second one, 8% of 1 kilometer. So 8% means 8 over 100. 1 kilometer means we'll take as meters. 1000 meters. It's easy to simplify, otherwise you are getting a fraction. 2 zeros get cancelled out. 8 times 10, 80. So what's the unit? 80 meters. Then 2.5% of 1200. So this means 2.5 over 100 into 1200 grams divided by 100. So 12 times 2.5. So I can write 2.5 as 5 over 2 into 12. So 2 times 6, 6 times 5, 30 grams. Next one, 25% of 2.5 liters. So 25% means over 100 into 2.5. I can write this one is in milliliters. 1000 milliliters is 1 liter. So multiply by 1000, you get 2500 milliliters. 1, 2, 3. You have to multiply by 1000. Now 2 zeros get cancelled out. 25 times 25 is 600. 25 you get milliliters. Here in this example we came across 25 times 25. Do you know an easy method to find out a square term? So we'll look at that first. I'll take a different color. Five times 5. 5 squared, we know 25. 15 times 15, what do you think? It's 225. 25 times 25, 625. 35 times 35. Can you do that at once? I can do that. That's 25 and 1225. If you want 45 squared, what's the answer? 25. So 2025. So what's the pattern here? Look at carefully. 5 squared is 25. So you get always 25 for the last term. When you have 5s there, so you get 25. So what happens to the previous number? Here, this is 1. So you multiply this by the next digit. 1 times 2. You get 2. 2, what's the next digit? 3. 3 times 2, you get 6. What's the next digit for 3? That's 4. 4 times 3, you get 12. And what is this one? 4 times 5. 4 times 5, you get 20. So what is 75 times 75? 75 squared. 5 times 5, 25. 7 times 8. 8 times 7, 56. So that's how we get the square terms. Remember that it's easy to get the multiplication of a square number. Look at question number 2. A shopkeeper buys a wristwatch for 500 rupees and sells it for 600 rupees. Calculate the profit as a percentage of the cost price. So what is the profit? Profit is the difference between the selling price and the cost price, buying price. So he sold it for 600 and bought it for 500. So what's the profit? 100 rupees is the profit. Then profit as a percentage. So that's called percentage profit is equal to profit divided by the cost price. Cost price is the buying price, that's 500, and multiplied by 100 as a percentage. So what you do? 100 and 500, you get 5. 100 divided by 5, you get 20%. That's the percentage profit. Question number 3. A person borrows 8,000 at an annual simple interest rate of 6%. How much interest will he pay in a year? So what is simple interest? You did this in grade 10 and 9. So every time you are calculating the interest for the initial value. So 8,000 is the initial value and 6% is the annual rate, simple interest rate. How much interest will he pay in a year? So interest is initial value multiplied by the annual interest rate, 6 over 100. And this is for 1 year. So this is for 1 year. So 100, this one is divided by 100, it get cancelled out. 6 times 80, 480 rupees. Question number 4. A person borrows 5,000 at an annual simple interest rate of 10%. How much interest will she pay after 2 years? Now, this is always for the initial value. So, interest is equal to the initial value into 10%. This is after 1 year. For 2 years, you have to multiply this by 2. So, you get 1 0 get cancelled out, this 0 get cancelled out. 500 into 2, you get 1,000 rupees. Question number 5. Sunimal takes out a loan of 10,000 rupees that charges a monthly simple interest rate of 2%. What is the total amount that he will repay if he wants to settle the entire loan in 3 months? So what's the interest? First we have to calculate the interest that he is paying. The initial value is 10,000 into 2% monthly, and how many months? 3 months. So that's the interest value for 3 months. You get 100 times 6. So 600 rupees. But what's the total amount that he will repay? So you have to add the interest. Total amount is equal to the amount that he borrowed plus the interest. So he needs to pay 10,600 rupees to repay for the entire loan. Now we need to talk about loans and expenses. Now when you take daily expenses, we can divide into 2 parts, capital expenses and recurrent expenses. So what are recurrent expenses? Expenses incur regular basis. For food, clothes, medicine, electricity bills, we have to pay daily basis. But when it comes to capital expenses, you don't need to repeat again and again. So one-time expenses we call. Sometimes if you want to purchase a land or a house, vehicle, machinery or furniture, so you have to pay huge amount of money. So when you need to spend money for capital expenses, you need to sometimes borrow money because it's a huge amount. You can't pay that amount at once. So then what we do? We have to take loans. Is it good to take a loan? If you can survive without a loan, it's good. But do you think it's possible? As a country, we have to take money from other countries for development. So when it's a huge amount, we can't just pay that at once. So we have to take loans. So that's why we need to talk about loans. So here money borrowed as a loan is not paid back in full right away. Rather, it is paid back over a long period of time as monthly partial payments. Usually, a loan is expected to be repaid with interest. So, when you are paying back the money, you can't just pay the amount you borrow. You have to pay with the interest. Normally, the amount is more than what you borrowed. The part of the loan and the interest that is to be paid every month is referred to as loan installment. So we call this is loan installment. However, some manufacturers or distributors may sell their merchandise on an interest-free installment plan to promote sales. Sometimes you don't have to pay the interest, but normally when you buy something and we borrow money from financial institute, you have to repay back with the interest. Now we'll see how we can find out the values for loans. Now, why we actually need to take a loan? When your expenses are higher than your income, you have to take loans. Now, when you are taking loans, sometimes you pay the interest on the reducing balance. What is that? So, when you take money, what happens? You first pay a certain amount. We call that's down payment with the understanding that the rest of the money will be paid in installments. Most of the time you will be expected to pay an interest on the loan. However, here the loan is paid in monthly installments. The interest calculation is based on the outstanding loan balance. That is the balance money that remains in the borrower's hands as the loan is repaid during the loan term. As the borrower repays installments, the remaining loan balance reduces over time. So what happens? Say that you borrowed 50,000 and you paid down payment 10,000. So the interest is calculated for the remaining balance. And then it reduces. The interest reduces over time. We'll take an example and see how we calculate interest on the reducing balance. So the first example is a person borrowed 1,500 rupees from a bank with annual interest rate of 24%. The loan has to be paid back in 3 equal monthly installments and the interest is calculated on the reducing balance. Find the value of a monthly installment. So here first thing you have to calculate what's the monthly installment without the interest. So what's the borrowed money? 1,500 and you are paying that with 3 equal monthly installments. So 3 equal monthly installments means, so we can divide by 3 to get monthly installment without interest. So what's the value? You get 500 rupees. Now how we calculate the monthly interest? So we'll say for the first 1500, you have to pay 24% annually for a month. That means you have to divide by 12. This is 1/12. That's for the first month. 12 times 2, then these two get cancelled out. 2 times 15, 30 rupees. Then how we calculate for the second month? Second month, what happens? Earlier 1500, then it reduces to 1000. 1500 minus 500. Now for the next 1000 rupees, you are paying 24% value, and that's also monthly. So what's the value there? 12 times 2. You get here 2 times 10, 20 rupees. Now can you see the interest is reducing with time? Then the next month, the third month, what's the remaining amount? Now for the next 500, you are paying 24% value monthly. That's 1/12. You get 2, this one 5. 5 times 2, 10 rupees. So this is the first month interest, 30 rupees. Second month you have to pay 20, and the third month 10. But you are paying with 3 equal monthly installments. So what's the total interest that you have to pay? That's the total of these 3. 30 plus 20 plus 10. So what's the total amount? You need to pay 60 rupees as the interest. So how we calculate the interest per month? Interest per month is 60 divided by 3. So here first we'll calculate interest per month. I'll write here interest per month is, altogether we need to pay 60 rupees for 3 months. So 20 rupees each. Then how we calculate the value of monthly installment? You have to pay 500 plus the interest. 500 plus 20, you get 520 as the value of monthly installment. So here can you see this one is reducing over time. That's called reducing balance method. The interest is calculated on the reducing balance. We'll take another example. A person borrowed 2000 rupees from a bank with annual interest rate of 24%. The loan has to be paid back in 5 equal monthly installments, and the interest is calculated on the reducing balance. Find the value of a monthly installment with interest. So same thing. So what's the monthly installment without interest? You borrowed 2000 rupees. Then how many months? 5 equal months. So divide by 5. You need to pay 400 rupees. That's without interest. So how you calculate the total interest? First month for 2000, you need to calculate what's the interest rate? 24%. This is for annually. So monthly you have to divide this by 12. So you get 40 rupees. Then for the next month, 2000 minus 400, 1600 into 24% into 1/12. What you get? 12 times 2, 32 rupees. Third month, 1600 minus 400, you get 1200. 24%, 1/12. 12 times 2, 24. What's the value for fourth month? 1200 minus 400, 800. 800 times 24% into 1/12, you get 16 rupees. And the last month, fifth month, 800 minus 400, you get 400 into 24%, 1/12. You get 4 times 2, 8 rupees. So this is for the first month, second month, so like that it's reducing. The interest is reducing. So what's the total interest? Total interest is 40 plus 32 plus 24 plus 16 plus 8. What's the value? At 32 plus 8, 40. 40 and 40, 80. 80 and 24, you get 104. 104 plus 16, you get 120. So the total value, total interest is 120 rupees. So how we calculate the interest per month? So altogether 120 rupees, 5 months. Over 5 months he has to pay. So 120 divided by 5, you get 24 rupees. So 24 rupees, that means the interest per month. So value of monthly installment is, you have to pay without interest, that's 400, and the interest per month is 24. Altogether 424 rupees for one installment, monthly installment. Now when you look at this one, there's an easy way. So look at carefully. This one, 2000, I can write as 5 times 400. 1600 I can write 4 times 400. This one, 3 times 400. 2 times 400 and 1 times 400. Now, without calculating the interest separately, if I can find a formula. Now see, when you take this one is common. 24/100 into 1/12 is common. So I can rewrite this as 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 into monthly payment is the answer, total interest. So how can we find out this value? 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2. If there are 6 months, it becomes 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So we'll see how we can find out that value. So one of the mathematician found that when you are adding these values like this, so mathematician's name is Gauss. So this is Gauss method. He found out when you are adding numbers like this, you can rewrite this as 5 times, we add one more to that, 5 plus 1, 6. Divide by 2, you get the same answer. So add and see, 5 plus 4, 9, 9 plus 3, 12, 12 plus 2, 14 and 15. The answer is 15. Now we'll see whether we are getting 15. 2 and 3, 3 plus 3 into 5, you get 15. So what's the easiest way to find out this answer without adding separately? 10 is the highest number. Multiply by the next number. Divide by 2. So you get 55. This one starting from 12. So what's the answer? 12 times 13. Divide by 2. So 78. This one 24 plus 23. So what's the easiest way? You take this number, multiply it by the next number. Divide by 2. You get 12. 12 times 25. 12 times 5. So 25 times 12. 10 and 2. 2 times 5, 10. 2 times 2, 4 plus 1, 5. You get 300. What about this one? 36 plus 35 plus up to 1. You can write this one as 36 times 37 divided by 2. So 2 times 18, 18 times 37. So 37 times 18, first multiply by 10 and then 8. 8 times 7, 56, 5 remaining. 8 times 3, 24. 24 plus 5, 29. When you add these together, 666. So this method is called Gauss method. So we'll use this method to find out the value of a monthly installment with interest. So we'll take the same example and find out using Gauss method. So there you have to do first 2 steps, you have to do the same thing. Monthly installment without interest, that's you have to pay 2,000 rupees in how many months? 5 equal months, that's 400. And interest for monthly installment, you are calculating for 400, what's the value? 400, 24% of interest, and this is monthly 1 over 12. So 12 times 2, you need to pay 8 rupees for monthly installment. Now this is the new step. We call this is as month units. How we can find out month units? In this case, 5 equal months are there. So you need to find out 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So what's the method? That's 5 times 6 divide by 2. 30 divided by 2, you get 15. Now what's the total interest? Month units, there are 15 month units. Each monthly installment you have to pay 8 rupees. So what's the total interest? 8 times 15. 8 times 5, 40, 4 remaining. 8 times 1, 8 plus 4. So 120 as the total interest. So what is monthly interest? So 120 is the total. Divide by 5. That's monthly interest. 5 times 2, 10. For 20, that's 4. So what's the amount of an installment? You have to pay 400 without interest plus 24 as the interest. So the total value is 424. So if we can use this method, it is easier than by calculating separate values for each month. Now we'll look at this example. A person borrows 72,000 rupees from a bank with annual interest rate 24%. The loan has to be paid back in 12 equal monthly payments, installments, and the interest is calculated on the reducing balance. Find the value of a monthly installment with interest. So, what are the steps we have to do? First one is installment without interest. Installment without interest. So borrowed 72,000 rupees for 12 equal months. So 12 times 6, so 6,000 rupees. Then what's the next step? We have to find out the interest per month. Interest So what's the interest? For 6,000, what's the interest rate? 24%. And this is monthly. This is annual given, so you have to divide by 12. That's the monthly interest. So 12 times 2, 2 zeros get cancelled out. 2 times 60, 120 rupees. Then we can calculate month units. Next step is to calculate month units. So in this case, how many equal months? 12 months. So month units is 12 plus 11 plus 10, 2 plus 1. So what's the easiest way to calculate? 12 times 1 more than that, divide by 2. 6 times 13, so 78 rupees. So what's the total interest you have to pay? Total interest is you have to pay each month 120 for how many months units are there? 78. So calculate and see. 120 into 78. 7 and 8. 7 times 0, 7 times 2, 14, 7 times 1, 7, plus 1, 8. 8 times 0, 0, 8 times 2, 16, 8 times 1, 8, plus 1, 9. So you get 9,360 rupees. That's the total interest. So what's the interest per month? $9,360 divided by 12 because there are 12 months. 12 times 7. First we'll divide by 3. 3 times 4. 3 times 3. 1, 2, 0. Now we can divide by 4. 4 times 7. 28. 3 remaining for 32. That's 8. So 780 rupees. That's the interest per month. So what's the value of a monthly installment? Value of monthly installment is 6,000 plus 780. So you get 6,780 rupees. Now take a similar example. Now initial value borrowed is 72,000. This is annual rate, interest rate 48%, and this is for 3 years. So here they are asking the monthly installment with interest. So how many months for 3 years? 3 times 12. So altogether 36 months are there. 36 months. So what's the first step? Amount, installment for 1 month without interest first. Now 72,000 rupees for 36 months. So 36 times 2, so you get 2,000 rupees. Then what's the next step? We need to calculate the interest per month. Interest per month. What's the interest per month? 2,000, and the rate is 48%. That's annually, and for 1 month you have to divide this by 12. 12 times 4, and here 100 get cancelled out with this one. 20 times 4, 80 rupees. That's interest per month. Then what's the next one? We need to calculate month units. So this is about 36 months. So you have to take 36 plus 35 plus up to 1. So what's the easiest method? 36 times 37 divided by 2. So 18 into 37. What's 18 into 37? 1 times 7, 1 times 3. 8 times 7, 56. 5 remaining. 8 times 3, 24. 24 plus 5, you get 29. So 666 month units are there. So what's the total interest you have to pay? 666 multiplied by 80. 80 is the interest per month. So multiply by 80, you get 0. 4 remaining. 52. 8 times 6, 48. 48 plus 5. 53. So here total interest is 53,280. So what's the monthly interest? Monthly interest, you have to take this value and divide by 36. 36 months are there. Now divide and see. 53,280 divide by 36. 36 times 1. 17 remaining. 472. You get 4. 4 times 6, 24. 2 remaining. 4 times 3, 12. 12 plus 2, 14. So you get 8 and 28 remaining. Then the next digit is 8. For 288, what's the value? 8. 8 times 6, 48. 4 remaining. 8 times 3, 24. 24 plus 4, 28. So 1,480 rupees. 1,480 rupees. So what's the monthly installment? With interest, you have to pay 2,000. Without interest, and the interest for a month is 1,480. So altogether, you have to pay 3,480 rupees monthly as the monthly installment. Now look at another example. Now the interest rate is 36%. That's annually, and you borrowed 96,000 rupees for 2 years. Calculate monthly installment with interest. So what's the first step? We need to calculate the installment without interest. This is monthly. Now here 2 years means how many months? 2 times 12, 24 months are there. So what's the value? 96,000 borrowed, divide by 24. So divide by 4. You get this one. Now divide by 6, you get 4,000 rupees. That's the monthly installment without interest. Now what's the installment monthly you have to pay? This is without interest. The interest pay monthly. So 4,000 into, what's the rate given? 36%. And monthly, annual rate is given 36, so you have to divide by 12. 12 times 3, these two get cancelled out, you get 120 for the interest for a month. Now how many month units are there? Month units, 24 months. 24 plus 23 plus 22 up to 1. So this is same as 24 times 25 divided by 2. Divide by 2, you get 12. 12 times 5, 60. 6 remaining. 12 times 2, 24. 24 plus 6, 30. So 300 months units are there. So what's the total interest? 300 months units, each month 120 rupees. So what's the total? 0, 0, 0, 12 times 3, 36,000. So this is the total interest. What's the interest per month? Interest per month is, you have to divide this number by 24. 36,000 divide by 24. So divide by 6 and now divide by 4. 4 times 1, 4. For 20, that's 5,500 rupees. So what's the monthly installment? So monthly installment is, this is the interest plus the monthly payment, 4,000. So altogether you get 5,500 as the monthly installment. Another question. A person borrowed this 96,000 from a bank to be paid back in 2 years with equal monthly installment. If the monthly payment with interest is 5,500, find the annual interest rate. So this previous example in a different way. Now the amount is given, borrowed for 2 years it's given, and the payment with interest is given. You are asked to find out the annual interest rate. So what's the first step? You have to calculate how many months are there. So this is 2 times 12, altogether 24 months are there. So first we'll calculate the installment without interest. Installment monthly without interest. $96,000 divide by 24. Divide by 6. Divide by 4. So you get 4,000 rupees. Then what's the next step? What's the monthly interest? Now look at the monthly payment with interest is this one, but without interest is this one. So what's the monthly interest? The difference between these two. 5,500 minus 4,000, you get 1,500. So this is monthly interest, 1,500. So how many months are there? So 24. So what's the total interest? So total interest is 1,500 multiplied by 24 months. So multiply 1,500 multiplied by 24, 20 and 4. 4 times 0, 0, 4 times 5, 20, 4 times 1, 4 plus 2, 6. So you get 36,000 rupees. And what about months units? There are 24 months are there. So 24 plus 23 up to 1. That's 24 times 25 divided by 2. 12 times 25. 12 times 5, 60. 6 remaining. 12 times 2, 24 plus 6, 300. Now we have months units and the total interest. So what's the interest per month? So 36,000 divided by 300 months units are there. So divide by this, you get 120 rupees. Now interest per month is 120 rupees. So what's the annual interest? So interest rate. So what's the annual interest rate? Annual interest rate is 4,000 we have to pay without interest, and for 4,000 that's 120. We need this for annually, so for 12 months, and as a percentage you multiply by 100. So what you get here? When you multiply 0, 0 and 2 zeros get cancelled out. 4 times 3. 12 times 3, you get 36 as the percentage value. The interest rate is 36%. Example number 1. A furniture manufacturer sells a 30,000 rupee worth wooden wardrobe on an interest-free scheme of 12 monthly payments. What is the amount paid as an installment? So this is without interest. So what's the total amount? 30,000 and for 12 monthly payments. So number of months, 12. So you can find out the price of the wardrobe. $30,000. That's also rupees. So there are 12 months. So what's the amount? Monthly payment. Monthly payment is just take the value and divide by 12 because this is without interest. So 12 times 2, 24, 6 remaining for 6,000. For 60, that's 12 times 5 and 2 zeros. So 2,500 he needs to pay as the monthly payment. Example number 2. A festival advance of 5,000 rupees is given to employees of government institutions. This interest-free advance has to be paid back in 10 equal monthly installments. If each installment is deducted from the salary, what is the amount deducted from salary each month? So the amount of the advance, is 5,000 rupees. How many installments? So 10 equal monthly installments. Number of months, that's 10. So this is without interest. So value amount deducted per month is 5,000 rupees divided by 10. So that's each month. So 500 rupees deducted from the salary. Example number 1. Mr. Vikramasinghe has borrowed 30,000 rupees as a business loan from a bank that charges an annual interest rate of 24%. The loan has to be paid back in 6 equal monthly installments and the interest is calculated on the reducing balance. Calculate the value of a monthly installment. So what's the first thing we need to calculate? Installment without interest. So 30,000 divided by how many months? 6 equal months. So 6 times 5, so 5,000 rupees. Then what's the monthly interest? Monthly interest is 5,000 into 24%, that's annually. For monthly, you need to divide by 12. So 12 times 2, so 2 times 50, 100 rupees. Now we need to calculate month units. month units. How many month units are there? So 6 equal monthly installments means 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. What's the easiest way to calculate? 6 times 7 divided by 2. 2 times 3, 3 times 7, 21. So what's the total interest? Total interest is 21. That's month units. Each month 100 rupees. So 21 into 100, 2,100 rupees. That's the total interest. So interest per month. So this is the total interest. Divide by 6 equal months are there. So divide by 6. So you get 6 times 3, 18. For 30, that's 5. So 350 rupees. Then what's the value of a monthly installment? So without interest, that's 5,000 plus 350. That's the interest per month. So you get 5,350 rupees. Now here we talk about down payment. What is down payment method means? Think about you want to buy a machine. So what it's like 10,000 rupees, but you are paying only 5,000 rupees for the first time, and then the remaining balance you are paying with the installments. So that's called down payment method. So we'll look at an example related to down payment method. So it says cost of a machine is 23,000. Mala paid 5,000 down payment and bought a machine to pay the remaining amount with the interest rate of 24% for 12 months. Find the monthly installment. Now, first thing you have to calculate the remaining balance because you pay 5,000 first. So, what's the remaining balance? So, the total is 23,000 rupees and Mala paid 5,000 rupees. So, the remaining balance for the interest is 18,000 rupees. Now, we need to calculate the interest only for this remaining balance. So, what's the monthly installment? $18,000 divided by how many months? For 12 months. 12 times 1, 12. So 6 remaining, that's 5,500 rupees. So that's monthly installment. So how many months units are there? So before that, before we calculate month units, we need to calculate the interest per month. Interest per month. So what's the interest per month? So for 1,500, what's the rate? Annually 24%, and for a month you divide by 12. 12 times 2, 2 times 15, 30 rupees. Then we can calculate number of month units. This is for 12 equal months. So 12 times 11 times 10 up to 1, that's 12 times 13 divided by 2. You get 6 times 13, 6 times 3, 8, 1 remaining, 6 times 1, 6, plus 1, 7. So 78 rupees for this is the month units. That's not 70. So this is wrong. This is not rupees. Month units. 78 month units are there. So what's the total interest? Total interest. Each month 30 rupees and there are 78 months units. So you get 0, 3 times 8, 24, 2 remaining, 3 times 7, 21, plus 2, 23. 2,340 as the total interest. So what's the monthly interest? Monthly interest is 2,340 divided by 12 equal months are there. So 12 times 1. So we'll divide here. 12 times 1, 12. 11 remaining, 414. This is 9. 9 times 2, 18. 9 times 1, 9, plus 1, 10. So for 60, that's 595 rupees. So this is monthly interest. So what's the monthly installment? Monthly installment is, this is for a month, 1,500 plus this is 195 for the monthly interest. So when you add these two together, you get 5,961. 1,695 rupees as the monthly installment. So this question is the same as before, but now you are asked to calculate the interest rate and the installment with the interest is given 1,695. So what's the first step? So the machine cost 23,000, Mala paid 5,000. So first you have to calculate the remaining balance. Remaining balance is 23,000 minus the down payment, that's 5,000. So you get 18,000 rupees. Then what's the installment? Without interest? This is installment per month. 18,000 divided by 12. There are 12 months. So when you divide 12 times 1, 12. So 6 for 60, that's 5,500. That's the installment per month without interest. Now we need to find out the total interest. This is the installment with the interest and this is without interest. So here when you take the difference, this is for 1 month. For 12 months, you need to multiply by 12. That's the total interest. So when you subtract, you get 195 multiplied by 12. So you first multiply by 10, multiply by 2, 2 times 5, 10, 2 times 9, 18, plus 1, 19, 1 remaining, 2 times 1, 2, plus 1, 3. 2,340. So that's the total interest. So what's month units? This is for 12 months. So this is 12 plus 11 plus 10 up to 1. That means 12 times 13 divided by 2. So 78 month units are there. So what's the interest per month unit? Total interest is 2,340 divided by 78. 2,340 divided by 78. Multiplied by 3. 3 times 24. 2 remaining. 3 times 7, 21 plus 2, 23. So 30 rupees. Now we can find out the interest rate. So what's the interest rate? So for a month unit, you have to pay 30 rupees. So what's the installment without interest? 1,500 into 12 into 100%. So why we are multiplying this by 12? So we need the annual interest. So simplify. 3 times 10, 3 times 500. These two cancel out with these two. Then 5 times 10, that's 2. 2 times 12, you get 24% is the annual rate. Example number 2. A television priced at 25,000 can be purchased by making a down payment of 7,000 and paying the remainder by 12 equal monthly installments with the interest rate of annual interest rate 18% is charged on the loan, where the interest is calculated on the reducing balance. Find the value of a monthly installment. So what's the first step? The remaining amount. Remaining amount after paying the down payment. 25,000 minus 7,000. So what's the value? 18,000 rupees. Then we need to calculate the installment without interest. So this is without interest. So what's the total amount you have to pay? 18,000. And how many months? 12 equal monthly installments. So divide by 12. 12 times 1, 12. For 60, that's 5. So 1,500 rupees as the installment without interest. Now, what's the monthly interest? 1,500. Interest rate is 18%. And this is annually, you have to calculate for a month. 6 times 2, 6 times 3. 2 zeros get cancelled out. 15 times 3, 45 over 2. If you're asked to find out the value, you can get right as 22 and 50 rupees. Or you can take as 45 over 2. Then this is monthly interest. So how many months units are there? Month units. This is 12 equal months are there. So 12 plus 11 plus 10 up to 1. So what's the easiest way? 12 times 11, 12 times 13. We need to add 1 to that. 12 times 13 divided by 2. You get 78 months units are there. So what's the total interest? $78 months units, each month 22 and 50 cents. 22 rupees and 50 cents I can take as 45 over 2. That's easy for my calculations. So divide by 2, 39. So 45 multiplied by 39. So 40 and 5. 5 times 3, 15 plus 4, 19. So when you add, you get 1,755 rupees. Then what's the interest per month? The total interest is 1,755 divide by 12. So what's the total? So you divide 1,755 divide by 12. 1, 5 remaining. 12 times 5, 60. So 4, 48. For 75, it's 672, and for 30 that's 224, and then for 60 that's 5. So 146 rupees and 25 cents. So what's the value of monthly installment? So 146.25 and add 1,500. So the total is 25 cents is already there. 6, 4, and so here 6 and 1. So the total value needs to pay as the monthly installment is 1,646 and 25 cents. Here one can do without dividing by this one. First you can find out the total amount, 1,755 plus the total amount is 18,000, and then finally you divide by 12. You get the same answer as this one. Example number 3. The following advertisement was displayed in a shop. A washing machine worth 30,000 is available for a down payment of 5,000 and 10 equal monthly installments of 2,720. If the interest on the loan was calculated on the reducing loan balance, calculate the interest rate. So what's the value of the washing machine? 30%. So first you have to calculate the remaining balance. So 30,000 is the total amount and down payment is 5,000. 25,000 is the remaining amount. Now, what's the monthly installment? 10 equal months are there given. So, monthly installment without interest. So 25,000 divide by 10. 10 equal parts. So you get 2,500. But this amount you need to pay as a monthly installment. So what's the total interest? Total interest is difference between this and 2,500 multiplied by 10, because you are paying 10 equal installments. So what's the value? You get 0 to 220 multiplied by 10. So 2,200 rupees as the total interest. So how many months units are there? This is 10 equal parts. So 10 plus 9 plus 8 up to 1. So 10 times 11 divided by 2. So there are 55 month units. So what's the interest per month unit? $2,200 divided by 55. So we'll first divide by 5. You get 11. 20. So for 20 again 4, and you can easily divide by 11. So 40 rupees interest per month unit. So this is interest per month unit, and you are paying 40 rupees for 2,500. So what's the interest rate? Interest rate is 40 rupees for 2,500, and we need for annual rate. So multiply by 12 and multiply by 100%. 1 0 get cancelled out. This 0 get cancelled out. Then here it's easy if I calculate without zeros. Here 1 0 get cancelled out with this one. How many 25s are there? 25 times 10, 25 times 4. Then we can multiply these two and divide by 10. 4 times 4, 16. 16 times 12. Multiply by 10 first and 2. So 192 divided by 10. So 19.2% is the annual interest rate. Exercise 9.1. Sandamini takes a loan 50,000 rupees from a bank that charges an annual interest rate of 12%. The loan should be repaid in 10 equal monthly installments. So, this value is important, the rate is important, and how many months. So, they are asking, find the amount due from the principal loan amount each. So, here, what's the amount due? Amount due for each month. So altogether 50,000 rupees. And how many equal months? 10. So each month 5,000 rupees Sandamini has to pay. Then the second part, find the interest charged on the principal loan amount each month. Interest per month. So this is the amount monthly, and what's the rate given? 12%. That's annually. Divide by 12 to get monthly interest. So 50 rupees. Then the third part, for how many month units should she pay the interest? Month units. So this is 10 equal monthly units. So 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus up to 1. So what's the easiest way to do that? 10 times 11 divided by 2. So 55 month units are there. So fourth part, find the total interest. Total interest she should pay under the reducing loan balance. So 55 months units, each month she has to pay 50 rupees. So altogether you get 2,750. That's the total interest. And fifth part, find the amount of a monthly installment. So first we need to find out the interest per month unit. That's 2,750 divided by 10 equal months are there. So 275 rupees. So what's the installment? What's the amount of monthly installment? Then amount of monthly installment is 275. You need to add it to 5,000. So you get 5,275 rupees. Question number 2. A government servant can acquire a loan up to 10 times of his monthly salary at an annual interest rate 4.2%. The loan has to be repaid within 5 years in equal monthly installments. If Nimal draws a salary 30,000 per month, determine the following. First one, how much can Nimal acquire as a loan? So it says he can take 10 times of his monthly salary. So Nimal acquire as a loan 10 times the monthly salary. Monthly salary is 30,000. So 300,000 rupees. Second part. What is the duration of the loan in months? So duration is how many years? 5 years. How many months? Multiplied by 12, 60 months. Third part. If the interest is charged on the reducing balance, calculate the total interest due. To calculate the total interest, we need to first find out the installment without interest so per month. So we have to pay the 300,000 for 60 months. You get 5,000 rupees. Now what's the interest per month? $5,000 with what's the interest rate? 4.2%, and this is annual interest rate is given, so you have to divide by 12. Multiply by 50 first. 0, 5 times 2, 10. 1 remaining. 5 times 4, 20, 21, and 210. Divide by 12. So 12 divide by 3, you get 4. Divide by 3, this is 70. 70 divided by 4, 4 times 1, 4. For 30, that's 4 times 7, 28. For 20, that's 5. 17.5 months units are there. That's the interest per month. So how many month units are there? How many month units are there? This is for 60 months. 60 plus 59 plus up to 1. That's 60 times 61 divided by 2. 30 into 61. 3 times 1, 3. 3 times 6, 18. 1,830 months units are there. So what's the total interest? Total interest. That's the third part. Total interest is 1,830 months units multiplied by 17.5 is the interest per month. So here I can write, instead of 17.5 as a fraction, 17.5, or I can write 35 over 2. So 35 over 2. Now simplify. 2 times 9, 18. 2 times 1, 2. That's 5. 915 into 35. 915 into 35. 30 and 5. 3 times 5, 15. 3 times 1, 3 plus 1, 4. 3 times 9, 18. 5 times 5, 25. 5 times 1, 5 plus 2, 7. 5 times 9, 45. When you add together, you get 9 plus 4, 13. So 23,025 rupees is the total interest. Then what's the fourth part. What is the total amount due under the reducing loan balance? So what's the total amount due? The total interest is 23,025 rupees and the amount is 300,000. So the total is, so we can add together. So 520 and then 323. So that's the total amount due, 323,025. Then the last part, find the amount of a monthly installment. So how can we find out monthly installment? The total amount 323025 divide by how many months? 60 months. So divide by 60. So what's the value? $323,025 divide by 60. 5 times 6, 300. So 3 remaining 2. So 230, that's 3. 18, 180, so 8 plus 5, 13. So 50 remaining. So 502. 8. 8 times 6, 48. Then when you subtract, you get 22. Another 5 is there, 225. So how many 60s? 3. 3 times 0, 3 times 18. So remaining 45 for 450. That's 7. So 420 there. So we'll divide 420. So now remaining 300, that's 5. So what's the monthly installment that this person has to pay? That's 5,383 rupees and 75 cents. Question number 3. A dining table worth 35,000 rupees can be purchased with 5,000 rupees cash down payment and the rest paid in 15 equal installments, monthly installments. If the loan is charged an 18% annual interest on the reducing loan balance, calculate the amount of the monthly installment. So first find out the installment without interest. Before that, you have to calculate the remaining balance because this is with the down payment, remaining balance. So what's the remaining balance? 35,000 is the price and down payment is 5,000. So 35,000 minus 5,000, you get 30,000. Now we can calculate the installment without interest. So 30,000 rupees for 15 equal parts. 15 months. So divide by 15. So monthly 2000 rupees. That's the installment without interest. So what's the interest monthly? So 2000, 18% annually. So you need to divide by 12 to get monthly interest. 2 get cancelled out. So 6 times 2, 6 times 3. 2 times 10, 10 times 3, 30 rupees. So how many months units are there? This is 15 equal months. So 15 plus 14 plus up to 1. 15 times 16 divided by 2. So you get 120 months units. So what's the total interest? 120 months units, and then multiply, each one is 30 rupees. 3,600 rupees. That's the total interest, and you can find out, it says monthly, amount of monthly installment. So you can find out the total amount needs to pay. The interest is 3,600 and the remaining balance is 30,000. So altogether 33,600 rupees. So what's the monthly installment? So monthly installment is 33,600. You have to divide by 15. So divide by 15. So 33,600 divide by 15. 15 times 2, 30. For 36 again 2, 30. For 60, that's 4. 4 times 5, 20. So 60 there. So that means 2,240 rupees. So what's the monthly installment? 2,240 rupees. Question number 4. A motorcycle priced at 150,000 rupees for an outright purchase can be bought by making a down payment of 30,000 and paying the rest in 2 years in equal monthly installments. If 24% annual interest rate is charged on the loan, where the interest is calculated on the reducing loan balance, find the amount of a monthly installment. So you have to do the same steps. So what's the first one? Installment. Now remaining balance you have to calculate because there's a down payment. Remaining balance. So remaining balance is, this is 150,000, down payment is 30,000. So when you subtract 30,000, you get 120,000 rupees. Then we can calculate the installment without the interest. So 120,000 divide by, how many months are there? 2 years. How many months? 2 into 24, 2 into 12. 24 months are there. So you need to divide by 24. 12 times 2, 12 times 1. Then 10,000 divided by 2, you get 5,000. Then this is installment without interest. So what's the interest? Monthly interest. 5,000 into the annual rate is 24%. For a month, we need to divide by 12. 12 times 2, 2 times 50, 100 rupees. That's the monthly interest. So how many month units are there? This is 2 years, 24 months. So 24 plus 23 plus 22 up to 1. That means 24 times 25 divided by 2. You get 12 times 25. 12 times 5, 60. 6 remaining. 12 times 2, 24 plus 6, 30. So 300 month units are there. So what's the total interest? 300 months units, each month 100 rupees. So you need to multiply by 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. 30,000 rupees. That's the total interest. So we need to find out the monthly installment. So what's the total amount? Due? Total amount is 30,000. That's the total interest plus the remaining balance, 120,000. 150,000, and we need the monthly installment. So what's the monthly installment? So monthly installment is, this is the total amount due, divide by how many months? 24 months. Divide by 24. So divide by 3, 8, it's 50,000. Divide by 8. 48 for 20, that's 2. 16 for 40, that's 5. So 16. So you get another 0. So 6,250 rupees is the monthly installment. Question number 5. Mr. Kumar has acquired a loan of 12,000 rupees which he intends to repay in 6 equal monthly installments. The amount paid in a monthly installment is 2,100. Find the amount due from the principal loan amount each month. What's the amount due? This is without interest. So 12,000 rupees is the loan. That's for 6 equal months. So 2,000 rupees. Part 2. Find the total interest he should pay. So here, total interest. So he is paying monthly installment 2,100. And what's the interest? Subtract 2,000 because amount due is 2,000, but he is paying 2,100. And then how many months, 6 equal months. So what's the difference? 100 times 6, 600 rupees. That's the total interest. Then the third part, find the total amount paid in installments. So this is the total interest and this is the amount due. So total paid in installments is equal to 600 is the interest, total interest, plus 2000 is the amount due. So 2600 rupees. Then part 4, what is the number of month units? Month units. So how many months? This is given 6 equal month units. So 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 1. So that's 6 times 7 divided by 2. So 3 times 7, 21 month units are there. Fifth part, find the interest for a month unit. Interest for a month unit. So total interest is 600 and there are 21 months units. So divide by 21, divide by 3, you get 200, divide by 7. 7 times 2, 14, you get 60. So 7 times 8, 56. Then for 40, 7 times 5, 35. For 50 again, 7 times 7, 49. So 28 rupees and 57 cents is the interest for a month unit. And you are asked to find the annual interest rate. So how can we find out the annual interest rate? Annual interest rate. So they are paying 28.57 rupees per 2000 rupees. And this is the annual one, so you need to multiply by 12 and multiply by 100. So you can cancel these two. 2 times 6, 2 times 10. So 28.57 multiplied by 6. 6 times 7, 42. 6 times 5, 30, 34. 3 remaining. 6 times 8, 48. Plus 3, 51. 6 times 2, 12. 12 plus 5, 17. And you need to put 2 zeros and then divide by 10. What's the value? Divide by 10, you get 17.14 is the percentage annual interest rate. 17.14. Question number 6. A refrigerator priced at 36,000 for outright purchase can be bought by making a down payment of 6,000 and paying the rest in 24 equal monthly installments of 1,500. If the interest on the loan is calculated on the reducing loan balance, find the annual interest rate. So this is same as previous question. So what's the remaining amount? The balance you have to pay? Balance is 36,000 is the price of the refrigerator and the down payment is 6,000. So when you subtract, you get 30,000 rupees. And what's the interest? What's the installment without interest? Installment without interest is 30,000 divided by how many months? 24 months. 6 times 4, 6 times 5. 5,000 divided by 4. 4 times 1, for 10 that's 4 times 2, 8 for 20 that's 5. 1,250 rupees. But what's the monthly installment? So 1,500. So what's the total interest? So total interest is 1,500 minus 1,250 times how many months? 24 months. So you get 250 here into 24. 250 into 24, 20 and 4. 4 times 0, 0. 4 times 5, 20. 4 times 2, 8 plus 2, 10. So you get 6,000 rupees as the total interest. So how many months units are there? This is 24 equal parts. That means 24 plus 23, 3 plus 22 up to 1. So we can do 24 times 25 divided by 2. So 12 times 5, 60, 6 remaining, 12 times 2, 25, 24 plus 6, 30. 300 month units are there. So what's the interest per month unit? So 6,000 divided by 300. So you get 20 rupees. So what's the interest rate? So the interest rate is equal to, so 20 rupees you are paying for, what's the amount? For the value 20 paid for 1,250, and we need this annual interest rate multiplied by 100. 0, 0 get cancelled out. 25 times 5, 125. 25 times 4. Then 2 times 12, 24. 24 times 4, 96. 96 divided by 5. 5 times 1, 5. 46, that's 9. 45 for 10, that's 2. So the rate is, interest rate is 19.2%. Question number 7. A sewing machine is available at 23,000 for our outright purchase. A person going for an installment plan can purchase it by making a down payment of 5,000 and paying the rest in 10 equal months, monthly installments of 2,000 rupees. If the interest on the loan is calculated on the reducing loan balance, find the annual interest rate. So what's the balance after paying the down payment? 23 is the total. 5,000 is the down payment. So when you subtract, you get 18,000 rupees. That's the balance. Then what's the installment without interest? So installment without interest is 18,000. How many months? 10 equal months. So 1,800 rupees. Then we have to find out what's the total interest paying. Here, paying 2,000 each. So what's the interest? 2,000 minus 1,800 for how many months? For 10 months. That's the total interest. So 200 into 10, 2,000 rupees. So how many months units? This is 10 equal parts, 10 plus 9 plus 8 up to 1. So 10 times 11 divided by 2. So you get 55 month units. So what's the interest per month unit? So total interest is 2,000. Divide by 55. Divide by 5. You get 400 divided by 11. 11 times 3, 33. 7 remaining for 70, that's 6. 66. For 40, again 3, 33. And for 7, so 3636, this is repeating, recurring decimal. I can take as 36 rupees and 36 cents. So what's the interest rate? Interest rate is, he needs to pay 36 rupees and 36 cents for 1,800 multiplied by 12 and multiplied by 100%. Divide by 6. 6 times 2, 6 times 3. These two zeros get cancelled out. This one we can divide by 3. 1, 12 and 12. So 12.12 multiplied by 2, you get 24.24%. Now we'll look at what is compound interest. In grade 9 and 10, you did about simple interest. When you are calculating the interest with the initial value, we call those a simple interest value. Then what are compound interest? Compound interest that accumulates on it in every period. So the interest is not the same. So we'll look at this example. At a bank that pays an annual interest rate of 10%, the account statement provided at the end of 3 years to a person who has maintained 25,000 fixed account is as follows. So what's the initial value? 25,000. And the interest is 2,500. This is after the first year. Then what happens to the second year? Second year, the balance is 25,000 plus 2,500. Now the new balance is 27,500. So we are calculating the interest for this balance. So then what happens to the interest? The interest is increasing. So we are calculating interest on interest. So that's why this is accumulating the balance. We call those are compound interest. Now we'll look at how we can find out the interest using compound interest formula. Now take this example. A person deposits 8,000 rupees in a bank for 10% annual interest compounded yearly. How much money will be in the account after 3 years? I'll do the same question in 3 methods. So if you are calculating step by step, what's the interest after 1 year? So we can first calculate the interest after 1 year. So 8,000 into 10%. 800 rupees. So what's the balance now? Then the balance is 8,000 plus 800. That's 8,800 rupees after first year. Then this is for 3 years. Now we'll do the second year. What's the interest for second year? Interest after 2 years. Now 8,800 is the initial value, again 10% value. 880. So what's the balance now after 2 years? 880 plus 8,800. So 880 plus 8,800. So add these two together. So what's 880 plus 8,800? So 0, 8, 8 plus 8, 16. So 9,680. That's the balance after 2 years. So what's the interest after interest for the third year? 9,680, again 10%. 968. So what's the balance now after 3 years? 968 plus 9,680. So you get 10,648 rupees. Now we'll do the second method. Without calculating the interest, I can find out straight away the balance after first year. So what's the balance? Now we know if you invest 100 rupees, this is 10% increase, so the amount becomes 110. I can use that method. So 8,000 is the initial value, 110 over 100. That's the balance after first year. So what is balance after second year? I can do again this value. So without simplifying, I can do the calculation as well. So if I simplify, I get 8,800. Now 8,800, again 110 over 100. 11 times 0, 0. 11 times 8, 88. 8 remaining. 11 times 8, 88. 90, 96. 9,680. So what's the balance after third year? 9,680. Again 110 over 100. So 11 times 968. So what's the method? So you put here 6 plus 8, 14, 1 remaining. Then 9 plus 6, 15 plus 1, 16, 1 remaining, 9 plus 1, 10. So that's the easiest way to multiply by 11. So the value is 10,648. Now without doing step by step, what's the third method? Straight away I can write down within one step. So balance after 3 years is equal to initial value, and this is for first year. Again we multiplied this by again 110 over 100. This is for the second year, after second year, and again multiplied by this one to get the value after third year. Now straight away I can simplify. So 11 times 11, 121 times 11, and these two get cancelled out with these two, and multiplied by 8 is the final solution. So what's the easiest way to multiply by 11? So 1 is there, 2 plus 1, 3, 2 plus 1, 3, and 1. 1331 times 8 is the final answer. 8 times 1, 8, 8 times 3, 24, 24 plus 2, 26, 8 times 1, 8, plus 2, 10,648. So we got the same answer using 3 methods. So which one is the easiest? The third method is the easiest. You can straight away find out the balance using the compound interest. Example number 1. If a person takes a loan 10,000 at a compound interest rate 10% per year, calculate the total amount required to repay the entire loan in 2 years. So straight away we can use the third method. The total amount. The total amount is, initial value is 10,000 rupees. The compound interest is 10%. So 110 over 100. This is for first year, and again you have to multiply by this to get the value after second year. Now we can simplify. 2 zeros with these two. You get 11 times 11 is 121 times 100. So what's the amount? You get 12,100 rupees is the total amount required to repay the entire loan in 2 years. Example number 2. Amal invests 50,000 rupees for 3 years in a fixed deposit account which pays 6% annual interest compounded yearly. Nimal invests 50,000 in an account which pays 6% annual simple interest. Calculate the amounts received by Amal and Nimal at the end of 3 years separately. So we'll first calculate the value for Amal. So that's compound interest. This is for 3 years. So what's the value? Amount, total amount after 3 years. We can find out 50,000 into 6% compound interest, 106 over 100. That's the first year, after first year. Second year, and this is the third year. Now we'll find out the value. 106 into 106. you get 11,236. Multiply by 106 again, 106. So what you get? 106, 0, 0, 1 times 6, 3, 2, 1, 1, and then 6 times 6, 36, 3 remaining, 6 times 3, 18 plus 3, 21, 2 remaining, 6 times 2, 12, 12 plus 2, 14, 1 remaining, 6 times 1, 6 plus 1, 7, 6 times 1, 6. When you add these together, you get this amount and multiply this by 5. So I'll multiply here, multiply this by 5. 5 times 6, 30, 3 remaining, 5 times 1, 5 plus 3, 8, 0, 5. 5 times 9, 45, 4 remaining, 5 times 1, 5 plus 4, 9, and 5 times 1, 5. So this one divide by 100, that means 59,550 and 80 cents. That's the Amal's total amount. Now we'll see what's the amount Nimal received. So Nimal, now we'll see what's the amount Nimal received. Nimal's amount, he invested 50,000 rupees. This is 6% annual simple interest for 3 years. So this is the interest he is getting plus 50,000. So this is Nimal's total amount. So you multiply and see. 6 times 5, 30. 30 times 3, 90. So here 2 zeros get cancelled out and another 2 zeros. So 9,000 plus 50,000. What's the total amount? He received 59,000 rupees. Exercise 9.2. If a person takes a loan of 5,000 at a compound interest rate of 5% per year, calculate the total amount required to repay the entire loan in 2 years. So what's the total amount required? 5,000 is the amount of the loan into, what's the interest rate? 5% compound interest rate. So 105 over 100 into 105 over 100 because this is for 2 years. 2 zeros get cancelled out and 1 0 here. We'll multiply by first 105 times 105. 105. Multiply by 1 and then you get 525. Add it. You get this amount. Multiply by 5. 55,125. Divide this by 10. You get total amount is 5,512 and 50 cents. Now take question number 2. if a person deposits 6,000 into an account paying 7% annual interest compounded yearly, how much money will be in the account after 2 years? So what's the total amount? Total amount is initially 6,000 rupees, 7% compound annually, so 107 over 100 into 107 over 100, because this is for 2 years. 2 zeros get cancelled out with 1 0 here. 107 times 107. So multiply by 100 and then 7. 7 not 1, 49 and 7. Add it together. You get this amount and multiply by 6. 6 times 9, 54. 5 remaining. 6 times 4, 24 plus 5, 29. 2 remaining. 24, 26. 2 remaining. 6 plus 2, 8. 6. And then you have to divide by 10. So what's the total amount? 6,869 and 40 cents. Question number 3. Radha deposits 8,000 in an account paying 12% annual interest compounded yearly. After 1 year, the bank interest rate drops to 10%. How much money will Radha receive in total as interest at the end of 2 years? So we'll see. So the first year, what's the amount she is receiving? Total amount after first year. So 12%. 8,000 into 12% annual interest. So 112 over 100. That's the after first year. Now the second year, it reduces to 10%. So how much money will Radha receive in total as interest at the end of 2 years? So what's the amount after second year? So total amount after second year. Now this is initially after first year, this is this, and for the second year this is 110 over 100. Now we'll calculate the value and subtract 8,000 from that. So you get 11 times 8, 88, 112 into 88, 8 and 8. So you get 9,856. That's this value, and this is the total amount after 2 years. So what's the total interest? Only the interest they want. So the interest, total interest is, this is the total amount, subtract the initial amount. So you get 1,856 as the total interest. Question number 4. Hashan and Kasim are two friends. If Hashan lends 25,000 at a simple annual rate of 15% and Kasim lends 25,000 at an interest rate of 14% compounded yearly on the same date, calculate who receives more money after 3 years. So we'll do this for Hashan. So what's the total amount? Total amount is initially 25,000. This is simple interest. Simple interest rate is 15%. And how many years? This is for 3 years. This is the total interest plus the initial value, 25,000. So 2 zeros, 3 times 15, 45. So 45 multiplied by 250. So 40 and 5, 4 times 0, 4 times 5, 20, 4 times 2, 8 plus 2, 10. 5 times 0, 5 times 5, 25, 5 times 2, 10 plus 2, 12. So when you add together, you get 11,250 plus 25,000. So what's the total amount? 250, and this 5 and 1, 6, 2 and 1, 3. 36,250 for Hashan. Now we'll look at for Kasim. Kasim, this is compound interest. So what's the total amount for Kasim? Compound interest, same amount, 25,000, 14%. 114 over 100 for 3 years. Two zeros, 1 0 get cancelled out with this one. 25 times 4, and then divide by 2. 2 times 5 for 2 times 5, 10. For 14, that's 7. Again, this is 57. So you get 57 twice. So 57 times 57. So when you add it together, 3,249. So that value you have to multiply by 114. 100, 10 and 4. So multiply by 10, you get this value. Multiplied by 4. 4 times 9, 36. 3 remaining. 4 times 4, 16. Plus 3, 19. 4 times 2, 8. Plus 1, 9. 4 times 3, 12. 18, 1 remaining. 10, 19. 20, 23. 2 remaining. 10, 1 remaining. So 37. And then you have to divide by 10. So you get 37,038 and 60 cents. So this is Kasim's total amount. This is Hashan's total amount. Which one is high? Kasim's total amount is higher than Hashan. So we can write down. So 37,038.60 cents is more than 36,250 rupees. So you can write down Kasim receives more than Hashan. Question number 5. At the beginning of a year, a person deposits 40,000 in a bank that pays 12% annual interest compounded every 6 months, semi-annually. Now this is different. Compute how much money in total he receives at the end of the year. So this is compounded twice because 6 months you get one full year. So what's the annual rate is given? 12%. So what's the semi-annual rate? You have to divide by 2. So that's 6%. Now what's the initial value? 40%. So what's the total amount? Initial value is 40,000 and 6% semi-annually compounded. So 6 plus 100, 106 over 100. This is semi-annually, again twice for a year. So that's the total amount. So we'll simplify 2 zeros and 2 zeros. So 106 times 106. 106. So 2 zeros and you get this one. 6 times 6, 36 and 6 here. And when you add, you get 11,236 multiplied by 4. 4 times 6, 24. 4 times 3, 12 plus 2, 14. 4 times 2, 8 plus 1, 9 and 4 and 4. 44,944 rupees is the total amount. Question number 6. A person who has loaned a certain amount at 8% interest compounded yearly receives 432 as compound interest at the end of 2 years. Find the amount that he loaned. Now the initial value is not given, so we can take as P. So P into, this is compounded yearly. So how many years? For 2 years. So that's 108 over 100. And after second year, the total interest, only the total interest is given. So you don't need to multiply by 108. So just the interest. So second year, you can multiply by 8 over 100. That's equal to 432 rupees because the total interest after 2 years is given 432. So we'll find out P. So what is P? 432 multiplied by 100 and 100 divide by 108 and 8. So divide by 8. 8 times 5, 40. For 32, that's 8 times 4. So when you multiply it by 2, 54 times 2, you get 108. So 2 and 100, this is 50. So 50 times 100, that's 5,000 rupees. So that's the loaned amount, 5,000 rupees. Now the miscellaneous exercise, question number 1. A television is priced at 45,000. A person who buys it outright for cash receives a discount of 6%, and a person going for an installment plan can make a down payment of 9,000 and pay the remainder in 12 equal monthly installments. A 24% annual interest rate is charged on the loan, where the interest is calculated on reducing balance. What is the total amount paid if the TV is bought outright for cash. So what's the price of the television? 45,000. Person who buys it outright for cash receives a discount of 6%. So what's the amount? So this is a discount of 6%. So straight away you can find out the total amount. 45,000 with 6% discount, that means 100 minus 6, you get 94 over 100. Two zeros get cancelled out. 450 multiplied by 94. 90 and 4, 9 times 0, 45. 9 times 4, 36 plus 4, 40. 4 times 0, 0. 4 times 5, 20. 4 times 4, 16 plus 2, 18. So 42,300 rupees he has to pay with the 6% discount. Part B. What is the total amount paid if the TV is bought on an installment plan? Then what's the other method? So down payment of 9,000. So what's the balance amount? 45,000 minus 9,000. So you get 36,000 you have to pay with the interest. And how many months? 12 equal months. So what's the installment without interest? 36,000 divided by 12. So you get 3,000 rupees. And then this is interest rate 24% charge. A 24% annual interest rate is charged on the loan where the interest is calculated on the reducing balance. What's the interest? Interest monthly 3,000 into 24% annual interest, and if it's monthly you have to divide by 12. 12 times 2, 2 zeros get cancelled out, so 60 rupees, and we need to find out the month units. So 12 equal months means 12 plus 11 plus up to 1, that's 12 times 13, divide by 2, you get 78 months units. So what's the total interest? So total interest, so interest monthly is 60 and there are 78 months units. So what's the total interest? 78 into 60. 0. 6 times 8, 48. 4 remaining. 6 times 7, 42 plus 4, 46. So 4,680 is the total interest. So what's the total amount? So total amount needs to pay is 4,680 plus, that's the total interest, and the initial amount is 45,000. So what's the total? So 680 and then 4 plus 5, 9. So 49,680 with the installment plan. So what's the This is the total amount paid. Then part C is how profitable is it to buy the TV outright for cash. So he has to pay 42,300 if he tries to pay by cash, and this is with the installment. So what is the profit? Profit is equal to 49,680 minus 42,300 rupees. You get, so the profit is 7,380 rupees. Question number 2. A person takes a loan of 100,000 at an interest rate of 4.2% compounded annually and deposits in a bank that pays 8% interest compounded annually. What is the profit of his investment after 2 years? So takes a loan 100% and the interest rate is 4.2% compounded annually and deposits it in a bank. So what's the amount he has to pay? So total value becomes after 2 years 100,000. This is compounded. So this becomes 104.2 twice because this is for 2 years. This is the amount that he has to pay back. But what's the amount he earns? He deposits the same amount with 8% interest compounded annually. What is the profit of his investment after 2 years? So 8% annually. So the value he receives after depositing this amount, so 100,000, 8% compounded, 108 over 100 and 108 over 100. So what is the profit? The difference between these two is the profit. So we'll calculate the values. Zeros, 2 zeros, 2 zeros. So 1,042 multiplied by 1,042, 1,042 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 4 and multiplied by 2. So you get this value, and how many places you have to keep? 2 places here, and then multiply by 10 again. So multiply by 10 again, you get 108576 and 40 cents. So 108,576 and 40 cents. What's the value here? 2 zeros and 2 zeros. 108 times 108. 108 multiplied by 1. 8 times 8, 64. You get, and multiply by 10, 116640. So what's the profit? So profit is equal to 116640 minus 10, 8576.40. Subtract. You get 60 here. This is 9, this is 3, 13 minus 7, 6. 0, 8, 16. So profit is 8,063 and 60 cents. Question number 3. A person takes a loan at a certain interest rate compounded annually. If he has to pay 14,400 to settle the entire loan in 2 years or 17,280 to settle it in 3 years, calculate the amount he borrowed and the compound interest rate. So we don't know the initial value, and interest rate also we don't know, but it says if he has to pay 14,400 to settle the entire loan in 2 years. So we don't know the value after first year, and we know this is 14,400 for the second year. And then if it's third year, this is 17,280. That's the third year payment. Now look at these two. This is after 1 year. So straight away we can find out the interest for 1 year. So the difference between these two, 17,280 minus 14,400. That's the interest for 1 year. 0, you get 8, 8 plus 4, 12, 1 remaining. This is 5, 2, and this is 0. So you get 2,880 is the interest for 1 year. So what's the interest rate? So we can find out the interest rate as this is the interest for 14,400 as the initial value into 100. So 2 zeros get cancelled out. Divide by 4. 4 times 3, 12. For 24, that's 4 times 6. 4 times 7 and 4 times 2. So 720. 36 times 2. So 20% is the interest rate. Now we need to find out the amount he borrowed. So this is the amount borrowed. So you can take as P. So how we find out? So P into, this is compounded annually. So after 2 years, this is 14,400. So we can write down P into 120 over 100 into 120 over 100 is equal to 14,400. So what's the borrowed money? P is equal to 14,400 multiplied by 100 and another 100 divide. So divide by 120 times 120. So 2 zeros. 12 times 12, 144. Then 12 times this one, you get 100. 100 times 100 times is the answer. So 100 times 100, you get 4 zeros. So what's the amount borrowed? 10,000 rupees. So in this lesson we covered all theories related to percentages. Mainly we discussed about compound interest in this lesson.